here to build a model kit and to hang out with all of you. I'm going to throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the emote in the chat. If you're currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you're not a subscriber, you can use other people's emotes, or you could just say hi, or you could choose to lurk in the shadows and not talk. John says we always start with an ad and end with a raid, and that is indeed true. Lashbrook's throwing emotes in. Welcome, Lashbrook. Yeah, we do start with a 60-second ad break at the very beginning. Instead of doing it during the stream, I do it at the beginning of the stream, because it turns off pre-roll ads for like 20 minutes. The first 20 minutes is important when people are just kind of like, they're seeing the Gunpla in Makers and Crafting, and they're like, oh, I don't know who this is. I'm going to click on that. Or they saw a tweet of mine on Twitter, and they were like, oh, yeah, I'll go check that out tonight. And immediately they get an ad, and they're like, wait, what if instead I go somewhere else and do anything else? I get it. I understand it. Tonight is going to be a fun one. I have a model kit that we're working on, and it's many leg night, because the Gundam Barbataurus, we have done the top of the kit. Now we're going to build, and we've done the front 2 feet. What we're going to do is front 2 feet. What we're going to do is now, don't skip leg night. Indeed, we're going to work on the bottom 2 legs and the waist. So we're going to basically make this look like a regular old Bourne-ass Gundam with its 2 legs and 1 waist. And then we're going to build the part that attaches to it that will make this kit nonsensical and wonderful, and basically make it into a Centaur. Because it's not a Centaur yet, but we have to start with it being a regular old kit, and then we get to make it weird. And I'm excited about that. Not much panel lining. I did the panel lining on the feet here on my own time. There wasn't much to do, but we'll get into it about what we got to do for this kit and get all that working tonight. Tonight's topics of conversation: anime. We got anime to talk about. We have an anime to talk about because there will be other shows that come out on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, so I can talk about on Thursday nights. They're just only one of them debuted this week, because in the future I'll be able to talk about She Professed Herself Pupil of the Wise Man, The Genius Prince's Guide to Raising a Nation Out of Debt, and Ari Fuerta Season 2. Although I don't know if I'm going to do Ari Fuerta weekly as a review, because it is a show that infuriates me, and also this season will cover stuff that I didn't read because I got really bored with the manga and stopped. Because as we get farther away from the central premise of it, and it becomes more of a harem overpowered main character instead of a survival main character storyline, like Escape the Dungeon storyline, and then eventually it's just like, yeah, but now it doesn't matter. I liked that show less, so I am not necessarily that one might be the one that I'm just like, I'm gonna watch it on my own time and not think about it. Aristofan just gifted 5 subs to the community, so I can turn off these notifications, and I'll do that when we go to the overhead. Turn those off there. Good evening to you, Aristofan. I'm going to hit the old applause here. Let's give a lot of applause. Thank you very much, Aristofan, for gifting all those subs, and welcome Ying Dark and Brozard and Jatsu and Harvuk the Raving and Glenn. Welcome to all of you. Enjoy those subscriptions. Thank you, Aristofan, for gifting 5 subs to the community. That is your 70. Now you've done 71 gift subs. Now we did pass the nice number. You did give too many gift subs because you didn't. If you had gifted 3 subs, it would have been really nice. But it is more than nice. Yes, oops, too many indeed, Aristofan. You have oops, too many niceness. But also, I appreciate you and thank you very much for your consistent gift subbing support. We're going to get started with the stream in a moment or two. Also, you did push us over 50, which is great, because now we have wiggle room. But yeah, tonight we'll talk about some anime. We'll talk about some manga because I've been reading a few things. Um, we will talk about video games because I am technically playing a video game. Uh, and let's people were talking about E3, and I guess we can like kind of talk about that, about how like it's very funny because E3 has been should be dead since the Santa Monica year. Basically, was the first year, like the year before the Santa Monica year, where everyone was just like, E3, why are we still doing this? And now it's like more than ever. What do you mean? No, don't do it. Um, I do think there's going to be an E3 this year, and I think it will be not great. And we'll have a lot of people just being like, what if I just watch the press conferences and I don't go to that thing? That's my guess. My guess is E3 will happen this year, and people will be very unhappy about it. Um, but yeah, people were talking about E3, and I was like, I guess. Anyway, I'm going to retweet my tweet, see if we can get a few more friends to join us tonight because we're a little, light on views. Uh, but yeah, it is leg night, so we're going to get into some legs here. Um, Aristoban says two more than the nice number, which is twice as nice, and I guess that's one way to look at it. They just announced it's online only. Well, there you go, Lastbrook. That's why here. So this is an important thing. Why are we still doing this now more than ever? Yes. So here is an important thing to look at, right? I saw a bunch of people talking about E3, but I did not see the context of which they were talking about it. I thought it was just like someone brought up E3 and then everyone had their own opinions on it. It is going to be online only. That is very smart. I am actually genuinely surprised that they are going online only because I would have guessed that they would have tried to do a blended event. Um, so that is surprising to me and good. That's very good. Now, that is an event that involves international travel. And I think that that is a smart choice to not do it considering the international travel nature of that event. Um, I do think that smaller. I mean, there are going to be cons this year. There will be conventions this year. Um, I think you're going to start seeing. I think February stuff will probably get canceled, and then anything after that until the fall will probably happen as planned. Um, uh, I mean, anything can change. Um, I should say I am still figuring out if I'm going to a convention in April. I don't know if I am. I would still like to go. I just don't know if that is going to actually happen. But I am still considering the trip, um, a convention trip. I am still thinking that it's a possibility. Again, don't know, can't say for sure if that's going to happen, but it is a thing that I am actively thinking about. Um, but yeah, I mean, E3 also, when it comes down to E3 being online only, then just do press conferences and who cares? Like, at that point, why is this still a thing? Um, but, people get excited for the week, I guess. So they're like amped about like watching the press conferences and some people watch the events, and they'll watch like the hosted events and stuff like that. I mean, I will pick and choose who am I going to watch, with the watch alongs, like who is going to like co-stream this and who am I going to check out over that. Like I generally pick and choose between various websites of people that I like and respect and kind of figure out like, okay, well, ooh, this one will be good for these people to watch because they know a lot about this company or these folks are very funny or like, it's like, oh, okay. It's like, oh yeah, I want to have like my Nintendo heads for the Nintendo one. So I know who like Loading Ready Run. If they do that, then I know that it's going to be like the people like it's going to be Beej and it's going to be Heather and it's going to be the people that really care about Nintendo. That'll be a good one for this. Oh, this one is like they're going to talk a lot about Warhammer here, so I want to have Vinny Caravella's thoughts on the Warhammer stuff that's get talked about at this presser. Or this is an indie showcase, so I would like to have people who actually play a lot of indie games watching that because it's helpful. I'm at the point where I just want a bullet list at the end of the week. Well, there you go, John. You can tune in to my streams that week because I will be talking about. I will give you the bullet list and I'll give you my thoughts on the pressers that I watch because that's decent enough content for me. Um, it's just, my thoughts as I'm watching, trying to get the names, trying to figure the details out, fun facts from various people. Pat Bear's getting my E3 week views. Well, I hope so, John. I mean, it's also like, I like them because it means that I have something I can talk about on stream, and that is, since I moved to South Carolina, I have had less and less things to fucking talk about on stream. It has been, how we say, rough around here for me figuring out what the fuck I can talk about because I don't do a lot of things, as you're well aware. I mean, it's one of the reasons why I started reviewing the manga and manhwa that I read because I needed more things to talk about. I was reading that stuff anyway, so might as well talk about it. Also, it does coincide with like last season where, oh no, I wasn't watching much anime because there wasn't much stuff that I was into. This season, there's a lot more stuff that I'm psyched about, and I can talk about that now a little bit. As I said, so I watched uh, for tonight. We'll talk about In the Land of Leadale, um, and it's Lee, not lead. So Leadale. Yes, that is the anime that I will be chatting about tonight that I watched on stream that was really good. Spoilers. It was good and I liked it. This is number 6. That is 6. Okay, so 6 is gonna go into here. And up over. Yes, okay, great. I watched that. That came out on Wednesday. So we'll chat about that. We've got Slow Loop, which is girls fishing, and then they find out that they are newly stepsisters. So it's some relationship stuff while also being a chill, slow life, fishing thing. Then we've got Strongest Sage with the Weakest Crest, which is dude was very strong, but he knew he could be even stronger, so he forced a reincarnation of himself, and now he is incredibly strong. Pretty straightforward. My Dress Up Darling, which is about a dude that makes dolls, so he doesn't really have any. He's a high school kid. He doesn't really have a connection with anyone, but he then starts interacting with a popular girl who is or wants to be a cosplayer, and he starts helping her out. And that sounds cute. We got How a Realist Hero Rebuilt the Kingdom Part 2. Part 1 was great. It was fantastic. It was out this year. I highly recommend checking that out if you haven't, and then and getting caught up in time for that. So we got those to check out. Then we also have, I don't know what day of the week this show is coming out yet, but I will find out soon. We got Miss Kuro Situ's I'm sorry, Miss Kuro Itsu from the Monster Development Department, which is a kind of like slice of life workplace sitcom, but it's a person who designs monsters, and if I believe correctly, it is monsters is like the kind of like monsters of the week that heroes battle is like the person that is like in charge of making those monsters, but it is a workplace like comedy about that. If I believe it was a good premise, so I'm gonna check that out. Then we got She Professed Herself Pupil of the Wise Man, which is another isekai. There are a bunch of isekais this season. I'm going to watch most of them. This is an isekai about a dude who was messing around with his like MMORPG character, and he changed to a different avatar. So he basically like changed up the costume to be like a cute girl, and then he somehow wakes up and it's now the years in the future in the game, and he is embodying that girl's character. And so he's like, what the fuck is happening? What's going on? So he professes him to be the pupil of his famous character that he used to, control. I'm having a little trouble getting this thing connected, and I don't know why. So hold on while I try to figure this out. That doesn't go like that. So does it go like this? Why doesn't this connect? Oh, okay. Then why would that right? That okay. I think I got it now. Let's see. What else am I going to be checking out? Then we've got The Genius Prince's Guide to Raising a Nation Out of Debt, which is not an isekai. It is just an action anime, which I've never read the manga, so I am going to check out the anime, and then I might read the manga if I like it. But that is basically the story of a dude who is like, I'm going to panel line this first before we put on more armor, because it would be hard to do once I get this other armor on, but we'll still see it. So we want to panel line very simply. Anyway, that's the guy. He's the prince. He becomes like the ruler of a nation, but he just wants to like live a slow life and retire. So he's gonna figure out a way to like get the country in a good place so that he can like get out of there. But he's probably too good for too good at it, and so there will be complications that arise, and he will fail upwards. That kind of thing. So I'm going to check that out. And then our Fortress Season 2, as I said. And that's not all of the shows, because it does have that thing where, like, next week is where most of them are going to come out. So by next weekend, there will be even more new shows that I haven't, like, even seen what date they're airing. But I believe that's all the isekai this season I'm watching. I don't know. There is an anime about like the description I got it was just like, oh, it's like girls in school, but I didn't get enough from it to like understand. It was mainly that a girl like is excited about the school because of the uniform, but then in the photo of the characters, she's the only one wearing that uniform. So I'm like, what is happening here? So I don't know. That's the wrong leg, the wrong part. This is the back leg part. I got to get the front leg part, which is G1 3. This is the big one. It's similar, but different. G1 3. Because this is the front leg. The back leg has the other older armor. Anyway, there's a bunch of anime that I will be watching this season. That's only some of it. It is weird. This is a thing that happens for some people. Like, I understand, like, if you are into a genre of a thing or a style of a thing, but you're not into one specific show within that style, it's so weird because, like, the big push from Funimation and Crunchyroll right now is making sure everybody fucking knows that the second half of the final season of Attack on Titan is starting. And that's like the big push right now. It's just being like, hey, motherfuckers, this story is concluding. We're getting to the end of it. I know we said that it was the final season, and when we were promoting the final season, we didn't mention that there would be a long break between the two parts. We just said it was the final season, and that long break was very long, but that long break is over, and now here we are. And it's like, that's the big push. And I also understand, like, don't get me wrong, that big push is because people are fucking excited about that shit. People want to see the end of the story. And I am the outlier. I get that. Even if, this audience, y'all watching right now, are also not like fully invested or enthused about that. It's still like a big deal to a lot of people. And I get that. But because it's not a big deal to me, it's just like, okay, cool. I hope you like it. And that, that's general. That's a truthful statement. Like, it's a little, I'm being a little tongue in cheek at the moment, but that is my true, actual, honest feelings. Is that I hope that it's awesome and that people really like it, and that because if I remember correctly, there are a lot of people that didn't like how the manga ended. So I hope that they like how the anime ends. Um, Either that, because manga and anime audiences are different. Um, uh, there are people that feel differently about the different things, and things can change between mediums, which they should. So I don't know. I hope that people still like it. I just want to know when Skeleton Knight is coming out, because that shit was supposed to be out last year and then just kept getting postponed. Basically, shows got postponed because of COVID lockdowns, and then this show kept getting pushed back because the studios were still working on the shows that were supposed to come out earlier, and so it just gets getting pushed back. And I'm getting worried that maybe it's also getting pushed back because it's not good. And I really like the premise. Skeleton Knight is that is a dude who played somewhat similar to uh, Wise Man, and uh, um, uh, in the Land of Leadale. That is a person who was playing a video game and then is suddenly in a real situation, lives in that world. Um, but in this case, it's a dude that was wearing an avatar over his thing of a skeleton, and so now he is a skeleton man, and he's freaked out that people are going to be freaked out of the fact that he's a skeleton. So he only wears his armor so nobody can see, and just goes about his business. Um, and he's super strong, and he's got like a cool animal friend, and like he's a friend of the elves because he's been helping them out. It's like pretty great. There's a big dragon that like thinks he's great and awesome and is training him. There's some stuff. Uh, Also, I'm wondering if I feel like they're gonna probably tone down the villain in the story a bit, but maybe they won't. The villain in the story of Skeleton Knight is uh a church. Basically, there's like a church that's full of actually evil people, like they're the villains of the story, and they are fucked up. And it's gonna be interesting to see if they are as fucked up in this adaptation, because in the manga they are deranged assholes. So it'll be interesting to see if that follows through. I don't know. Like I said, don't know if it will. B nine. We are going to panel line this piece before we put it on, because that looks better often. Where is B9? B9 is right here. Great. We'll panel line this piece before we put it on. But yeah, I think that's probably anime talk. Other than in the second hour, we will actually talk about the anime that I watched, because I'll kind of give my playthrough of that. Spoilers: I liked the first episode, but I also enjoy the manga. So, yeah, and then we'll talk some manga in the second hour as well. One manga and one manhwa, but whatever. And then what else do we want to talk about? What else do I have on my list of things to talk about? Okay, we can do some video game stuff lightly. I've been playing a lot of Halo Infinite. I'm still playing. I still have my crew. We're still doing it. That's been great. My D&D group, which had been on hiatus since December, like halfway through December, we finally did a session today, and that went really well. I was great. My voice, hopefully, I was laughing and yelling a lot today, so hopefully my voice will hold out, because that was a good fucking time. Holy shit, I had fun today doing that. So that was rad. Um, I've been playing Wordle. Which I'm sure if you aren't playing it, you've probably seen people on Twitter just putting up their Wordle scores. It was a game created by somebody for their wife, apparently. Um, uh, and it was not expecting it to become like a big thing. I love the idea of playing the same word as everybody else once a day. I think that's very fun. I usually do it at night, although I did it in the afternoon today. it took over a Slack I was on, so someone had to create a Wordle channel. I love that, Erstevan. Yeah, that it was so much talk that it needed its own branch. Yeah, it's fun. I mean, you have to figure out what a word is if you haven't seen Wordle. And you have 6 tries to guess this word. It's a 5-letter word. You enter in text, and when you enter into the 5 letters, it will tell you if um, that word, if any of the letters that you've picked are correct and in the right spot, correct but in the wrong spot, or incorrect. Now, important thing to note about this Wordle, so far 4 or less all week. Nice, I was 5 the other day. I had bad luck with it. Now, a couple things about that, right? Important to note, if the word has a double letter, it will not tell you that. You will have to figure that out. So if it's like a word with 2 S's, it's going to tell you that there is an S there, and if it's in the correct spot or not. But it's not going to tell you that there is a second S. So you got to be careful about that. The other thing is, obviously, your first word could give you like a really good indication of what it is, or it could be something. Double letters are a trick indeed. Dirty wants me to hydrate. Hey, Dirty. Yes, welcome. I'll drink a little water. Sure. Got a little bit of water here. Yesterday, I spilled a bunch of water on my desk, but I was playing a video game and not building a model kit, so it was not noticeable, except when I was like, oh, fuck. Water and ska. This month's ska tune. All right, so we played some ska. I drank some water. Yeah, so we're talking about Wordle, and the thing is, a lot of people have like, oh, this is my starter word. This is the word I use all the time, right? I got my own starter words, right? I often use stare, S-T-A-R-E, because you got double vowel there. You got the S, the T, and the R, all common letters. It's good to know. Good to know if you got an S in there. Good to know if you have a T or an R. Also, if you don't have those, it's good for that. Some people like use dirty. See, John, why I feel like is like a waste of a letter to use, because I don't know if you're going to see a Y in a lot of things. Now, if it does have a Y in it, you're golden, because that might be tough. Y is pretty uncommon, but I like knocking it out. Yeah, I can understand that. Now, so I sometimes will start with audio to get in 4 vowels. The problem is, often these words do not have a D in them. They just have a couple vowels. And so it's like, well, I know a couple vowels that need to go in there, but maybe this thing only, like recently, very recently, I put in audio and it was like, there's an A. Well, there were 2 A's. And I was just like, oh, it has big vowel energy. It does. It has very big vowel energy. We did our one leg here for the front of this kit. Now we're gonna do the other leg. So let's get that other leg going here. But yeah, I kind of like knowing all the vowels, so audio is good for that. But I often do start with stare because it's just like nice to get that information. And sometime earlier this week, I was like typing in the word, and as I hit enter, I went, "Oh wait, I know what it is. Damn it!" And it wasn't that first one. Also great because it doesn't penalize you for typing words that it doesn't recognize. So you can just be like, well, I got 4 out of the 5 letters, so I'm just going to start putting in vowel or start putting in consonants to see what happens. Um, uh, I was going to say, why not tears, but it's the same letters. Yes. Oh, yeah. Tears instead of stairs. Yeah, that is the same letter. So you could do that. Yeah, I think everybody has their own preferences for Wordle. It's fun. I recommend it. It's an easy little thing. It is. I think it is very fun to be doing the same thing that other people are doing the same way. Like, having that thing of like, oh wow, damn, that person almost didn't get it, or oh, that person had like most of the letters and was just struggling to get this one word, or how the fuck did they do that? Fun word game, one word for 20-hour period. Nice 5-minute morning warm up. Yes, I like doing it at the end of the night. I think that is fun because I'm up at the time. But I think it is fun to just be like, can I figure this out before I go to bed? I don't know. I like that, but I also could see wanting to do it at night. Um, Sometimes I talk about manga that it's an I think for you. Yeah. Sometimes I talk about like stuff I'm going to be reading. The first chapter of a manga that I'm going to that I will be checking out here eventually when more come out, if more come out. I don't have the name of it right now. Let me look up the name of it. I want to tell you this premise because I fucking like this premise. Again, who knows how good it'll be? I've only read the first chapter because it's only been one chapter. Um, it has got a title that tells you exactly what the story is, and you know those are fine, I think, for some people, and some people really hate that. But here is the title of this particular story. The title is "A Former Hero Returning from Another World Gets Involved in a Death Game." So I love this fucking premise. Now, I'm not usually interested in death game anime. You know, the idea of like all these people woke up, or in this case, these students were traveling on a trip and woke up and they are all in in some sort of death game, complete with a dude with a gun about to shoot someone to prove that this is like dangerous and real and that everyone should like follow their commands. Um, but also the main character survived and defeated a demon lord and returned and has apparently magical abilities with no problem. Um, Now I don't know if the magical abilities are because of this particular thing that's happening or what, but yeah, basically, I really like that premise. Like, it goes through the thing of like guys trying to talk tough, do whatever. Everyone's got like, there's only one survivor. It is I don't want to say heavily implied. I think it's basically just said and people were like, "Wait, what?" That a dude that is in the group was the sole survivor of this game previously and then like went to the new class. And I'm like, I hope they fucking talk about that about like, "Hey dude, you killed all your former classmates and then you're like still going to school? What the fuck?" But we'll see if that's actually what happened. But I love that idea of just like, look, I'm sure things are going to go wrong for some people, but imagine you've set up this elaborate death game with all of these students and like you've put like explosive like collars on all of them and like set up in a thing and you're being like, all right, the only one who survives wins or whatever, can get out of here. And then a dude like can slow down time and is impervious to bullets. And the big cliffhanger of the first chapter is that like they detonate his collar, and I'm like, well, that definitely like it. I guess it theoretically could like malfunction and, or could kill him, but I bet it doesn't. And I just love the idea of like, I just want to tell these people that are like, what's happening in the game? Why is he so good at this? And it's just like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No, he got summoned to another world and like got really fucking strong, and now he's just kicking a lot of ass. Uh, I just yeah, I'm interested in this premise. I think this could be really good. I think that's like as I said, I'm not into the death game genre or subgenre, but I am into the uh, oh no, y'all picked the wrong. You picked the wrong class. You fucked with the wrong person. I am interested in that, and there have been a few like this story doesn't take place in that fantasy world, the events of the fantasy world. This story takes place in this world. Um, Wait, did I put the wrong? This is B3. Was this supposed to be B3 in here? Let me look this up. That was supposed to be B3. Okay, so this is on the wrong side. I think it's fine, and I probably wouldn't have noticed it, but I did do it wrong, so I will make up for it. Do it right. It's fine. But yeah, I do. Yeah, there, like I said, there have been some manga of like I defeated the demon lord and whatever, and now I'm back in here, and ooh, I have powers, and hey, why are there like magic in this world? Um, that is somewhat of a common theme, but I like that theme. I think that is fun. Uh, there is currently a story going on right now of a dude who like was there and fought really hard and came back, and time continued on. He was just missing for many years, and he's back, but he like runs into the girl that he had a big crush on, and turns out she's a single mom, and now he's like not dating her daughter, but her daughter has figured out what's going on, and so he's like pretending to date her so that he can like protect his former girlfriend. And I'm like, oh, that's a kind of fun idea. And like, yeah, and the people that are fucking with her are unprepared to face this dude, because he is of course very strong and powerful, and they are unprepared for that shit. There's another manga that I wasn't really reading because it turned out to not be that great. Um, but it is the premise is that there is a summoning of a whole classroom of people, and this guy gets summoned, and when he gets there, he's just like, yeah, you. He doesn't say this, but we know. Yeah, you already summoned me once. He got summoned, and then when he got sent back to Earth, he was like reborn, so he looks different. He's like another kid, but he remembers what happened and has all his powers. And so he's just like, yeah, I'm not playing this. It's okay. And of course, he's very overpowered. He has word magic, so he doesn't have to put up with any shit. And he just is a very overpowered main character. I kind of like that. I like the like. It's his second time being summoned, and he's just like, yeah, no, I know what this is. I know what's going on here. I'm very strong. It's not a problem. All right, work on this here. Yeah, video game stuff. Like I said, Wordle was the big thing that I have been playing and enjoying. I don't know if there's any other, and you know, oh, last night played Dorf Romantic on stream. Thank you to everybody that hung out with me for Dorf Romantique. I interchange how I say it, but whatever. I played Dorf Romantique last night. Enjoyed it. We went to creative mode. I played one long and broke my high score of the normal play, and then went to creative mode and kind of messed around with that for the first time, and that's pretty fun. I could see myself saving some of my things and like finishing them up there. That was pretty cool. That is a very chill game. That is just a good time. I play that now and again just as a relaxing game. They're talking release this year, so we'll see. I believe they are on winter break right now because some of them are still students. This is a mostly student project, but then as it took off, they have hired some people that are not students. Um, like their community person is not a student. Uh, I think maybe one of their developers in it, but it was like a student project that now is kind of taking on a life of its own. So yeah, so I believe they were all on break right now and then coming back to it. But yeah, that game is fun. Look forward to seeing what else they do with it. Let's see. Are there other things we can talk about tonight? Just kind of like going through the hits. Um, hey, what? Let's check this out. Right, like obviously, it's 2022, right? It's more 2021, which was more 2020. So the other thing I have to talk about is negative, and we'll get to it, I guess. But I would also be cool with talking about some positive things. And one of those things could be, we could, if you wanted to in chat, let me know things you are excited about, looking forward to. That can be media. It could be like, oh, this book that I've been waiting to read, or oh, they're finally making this movie that I'm excited about, or whatever. Or like, I'm really loving the Boba Fett show, and I can't wait for more Boba Fett. Like, if there's something that you're excited about, you can let me know because I like hearing about that. For me, it is even minorly planning a trip in April, which could fall through and completely, and I am prepared for that. But it is a thing to look forward to and to focus on. So I'm excited about that. Um, I today wrapped up my top 10 anime list for 2021. The written version and the video version are both done. So I'm excited to have that completed and sent out. That was a little bit of a mini project that I was finishing up. The due date for that, not the video part, the due date for the video or the list was tomorrow. I mean, not necessarily a hard and fast due date, but finish that up, and I'm excited for people to read that and agree, disagree, or argue, perhaps. Uh, so I was like, oh, that turned out good. John says I'm pretty excited for Triangle Strategy. I love that they kept that name. Oh, that's such a good bad name. And hopefully getting married. John, I also hope you get married. I hope you are able to get married this year. That you and your partner can make that work. So yeah, I hope that works out for you. All right, we have finished the legs. The legs are done. Now we are going to build the waist, and then we can do the first half of this kit. I am excited about this new TV mount stand I got. Nice, dirty. Now I can use my TV easily from both my recliner and a SETI. I don't know how to say that word. Set. Um, awesome. That is great to hear, John. Sorry, dirty. That you can you got yourself a new mount stand. That's great. Uh, being able to move that stuff around and open up your space is awesome. So enjoy that shit. Oh, I didn't put the back piece on this. I was like, oh, I'm done with this kit. I'm not done with this kit. I gotta do the back piece. Or this leg. I have B9. Other B9. I am scared to mount my TV. It's on a regular entertainment stand. Yeah, I mean, it depends on the wall and the stand and the TV and all that, right? Like, even if it is a thin, TV, it's still nerve wracking, right? If you're just like, ooh, I don't know about that. But right now, I don't have a big television, so I don't worry about that. I just have it on top of my dresser and move it around. Also, I don't watch my TV that much because I mostly watch stuff on one of my two monitors while I'm doing things on my other monitor. I have this TV in here hooked up to the Chromecast thing that I got when I got my free thing, like 3 months of Stadia. I got like a Chrome thing, and I don't use Stadia anymore, but I do use that Chrome thing to just send YouTube videos on my phone too. Um, Especially in the end of January into February when I move out of here into the Carolina room. Then I will not have my computer in this bedroom. So at night when I'm just kind of relaxing, I will just be watching YouTube videos on my TV. Because that'll be very easy. I just use the YouTube app and then send it out there and it can control whatever. It works pretty damn well. Uh, Gave me a chance to do some cable management. Nice. We recently got a TV with AirPlay support and changed our life. Yeah, I'm just happy to have it. Just that Stadia thing, whatever. It's another thing I got to plug in. It's on the Wi-Fi network. I just sit and look at it, and it works. It works just fine. Um, that is the thing I'm excited about. I should have said that. I am happy for my folks that are going to go on a trip. They're going to Florida for basically 6 weeks, and in that 6 weeks, I will hold down the fort over here in South Carolina. And because I will be in a house to myself instead of just being in this bedroom the entire time, I will move all my computer and streaming gear out to the Carolina room, and then I will just kind of stream out of that area, and then basically sleep in here, and just have more room. I did not have this microphone when the last time I streamed out of there, so I might go back to my headset. Basically, I'm going to do some tests and see if I need to use my headset microphone in that space or if the audio. Why is this being awkward? We'll see here. I'll have to see if the audio in there works out fine, or if I'll have to go back to my headset, or if I can just use it in here because it's a big open space, so it might be too echoey with the room mic. Although this is a better microphone than my headset, I will be using my headset microphone when I am in the kitchen because hey, I'll tell you this: January 27th, I'm gonna do a Prepare with Baer. I will be doing two. One January 27th, one in February. So that will be, I hope, very fun. It'll be a cooking stream. If you haven't seen it, Prepare with Baer, I did two of them last year. I was only planning on doing one, but it was really fun, and so I was like, oh, I want to do that again. So I am because I liked it. So I will tell you. The last time I kept it a secret until I streamed what I was making. This time around, I'm going to just promote what I'm making because I think it actually makes more sense to be like, hey, this is what I'm doing. I think that's more fun. So on the 27th, I will be preparing twice baked potatoes and sausage balls. Sausage balls are a thing that I had for the first time at a Christmas party this year, and I thought they were really tasty. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna make those. I'm gonna make those. I'm gonna make them instead of just eating them. Uh, the recipe is very fucking simple. It's mostly about getting them into the shape. It's like it's a three ingredients, but you can do with more, which I probably will. I'll probably salt it myself, and then I'll probably uh, add a few other things to spice it up a little bit, or bolden the spice a little bit. But yeah, I'm going to be doing that. Those two things. And twice baked potatoes also very easy. This will be a very simple cooking stream. The second stream, I don't know what my second dish is going to be, but I know that my primary dish will be I'm going to make homemade chicken nuggets. Now you might be recognizing a theme, which is I'm making fairly easy to do comfort food. But the truth is that that's just going to be really fun for me to eat those things. I'm just making things that are fun for me to enjoy and eat. Also, because I stream from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m., I have to like I'm not going to really eat dinner after the stream. Um, so anything that I make on stream, I'll be eating like the next day or the next several days. So basically, I'm making like my lunch. Bake some snickerdoodles. Yeah, I might do a dessert um, on that second one. I might try to do like some kind of odd salad. Like I might try to get into some wacky salad business. That could be fun. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do for that, but right now we're building the waist of this kit, which has to be a little weirder than a normal kit because it does have to have the back half of a horse body on the back of it. So this one is going to be a little odder than most waists for a model kit here. Some non-standard parts. Let's see. So that's going to go like this then. Yeah, that goes like that. Great. Figuring it out as we go. Then we'll do the front skirt here, which is E and F. Clutches are also simple and keep well for multiple meals. Yeah. So yeah, basically I'm like I'm going to show you the recipe for like three potatoes worth of twice baked potatoes, but then I'm going to like only second bake like a set of them, right? Like, ooh, drop some frames there, but we're back. The recipe is like three potatoes. I'm gonna like make the recipe for three potatoes, but then I'm only gonna like second bake two of them, and the other ones I'm gonna freeze, and then I will do the second bake on the frozen ones like in the future. Also, one of the cool things about doing twice baked potatoes is the first bake will happen off stream. I'll have already baked them because it just whatever you just do it for a while and then take them out and cut them, and so so it's like I can bake those that day and have them sit all day to hit room temperature and then cut them up, and that will be completely fine. So I think I made a good choice with that. I think that's going to turn out good. And then also um, the sausage balls, very easy to make but should be very tasty. Um, but yeah, I did last year. I did meatloaf, and I did stovetop, like on the stove mac and cheese, and both those were just like several meals for me and were great. I enjoyed them. So that's what these will be. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna make a bunch of chicken, like homemade chicken nuggets, and then I'm gonna eat a bunch of homemade chicken nuggets for what, however long. Like I said, put them in, and just have them for snacking or for lunch. Basically, it'll be like my lunch the next day. And then, as I said, the twice bakes will just keep, especially if I only eat uh, like a couple of them at a time, that they'll keep for a very long time in the freezer. Be very tasty. That's so that's kind of what I'm doing with that right now. That's the plan. But I'm very excited about it. I'm very excited about cooking again on stream because it's a really fun thing. It is weird to like disassemble parts of my kitchen so that I can set up this whole computer rig. That is a strange thing, but a fun challenge of like, okay, how do I get one of these webcams pointed in the right direction, and how do I get the other webcam pointed in the right direction? Like, how do I make this all work? Where can I light this? How can I get the lighting right? And then also like, ooh, I think the lighting is right, but also I set this up this day, so I don't know if it's going to be right until it gets dark out. So I got to wait for it to be evening and then see if I enjoy how the lighting looks. It's just like it's a lot of stuff that I'm excited to mess around with and see if it works out. I don't know. And just do something different, right? Like that's just going to be a Wednesday that is, instead of playing a video game, I'm just going to cook. I don't know. I think that's fun. I am a little scared of doing the nuggets because that will be frying. And so I'm a little scared of frying on stream. I might have to try to figure out like a way to move the overhead camera over the pan because I want you to be able to see me do the frying element. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work. That's the one question, which is why I'm not doing it on Thursday. Uh, how breaded is your nuggets? I really want to get an air fryer. John, yeah, an air fryer would be nice. I have a crock pot down here, and I enjoy that a lot. And I got a convection oven as well, a little toaster oven, and that has been nice. But um, so these are going to be bread. Like we're not going panko or anything. We're doing like Italian breadcrumbs. Um, but these are going to be pretty breaded. Like this is going to be these nuggets are going to yeah. These are going to be pretty fucking breaded nuggets. Good. They'll be good sized chunks probably. Also because I'll be eventually just like anytime I buy chicken and I have to like gonna buy whatever, a couple chicken breasts, cut that up, chicken thighs, whatever. Eventually, like those pieces are just gonna get bigger and bigger as I get more and more annoyed with how much chicken I have to cut up. Uh, but I think it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I think that's going to be a nice time. But yeah, I'm a little scared of doing the whole frying in a pan while on stream thing. So we'll see how that goes. But the baking, that's the thing. The sausage balls and also yes, this is the second time. So the third stream of me cooking I'll ever have done will be the second time that I have made something with balls in the name because I did peanut butter balls and then I'll be doing sausage balls. I know, but there's not another name for it that I know of. Anyway, I'm excited to do that. But yeah, the sausage balls and the twice baked potatoes are just baking, and they also bake at the same temperature, so I can just like put them in at different times. Sausage spheres, yeah, no, we'll call them balls. That's what they are. We'll call them what they are, which is sausage balls. Um, it'll be fine. But I am excited to do it because I think it'll be a good time to just mix things up, do something a little different. Uh, I also Lashbrook, I have built the ball high grade. Of course, we also worked on Haribo, Haropla, the tiny little Haro balls. But I have also done the all high grade as well. Yes. Gilded Creed just followed. Thank you for the follow. Welcome, welcome. Hello. But yes, Lastbrook, you're right. I have done that. I've also built model kits that are spherical shapes. Okay. Oh, these side skirts are very simple, which is great. We like that here. Is there an Asparus model? No. No, as far as I know. So we need B16. Yeah, our side skirts here. That is kind of ballish. You're not wrong. Also, the kit I built for the Plamo Weekender, that charity stream, that kit was definitely like had a sphere, like the head was a big sphere that had a bunch of parts coming off of it. But that kit was spherical in nature. B5 and B5, great. Let's see. Is there anything else we want to talk about before? We're going to take a pause for the cause in a few minutes. We'll talk about ways you can support the channel. We'll do all of that stuff. I don't know if there's anything else. We're talking about what we're excited about. Talked about some upcoming anime. Talked about some video game stuff. I haven't really read through a lot of Game of the Year stuff outside of like people's number ones. I usually make a list of things that I want to watch or play that that were on the list that I hadn't heard of. I haven't done that yet. I do plan on doing that because I am in the mood to purchase a new video game. So we'll see if there's anything like weird indie stuff. But also part of that will be like some of the people on Giant Bomb's a Game of the Year often talk about stuff that I've never heard of. So I do look forward to that because some of those folks play a lot of games that, just didn't get coverage. So I'll be looking forward to checking that out. All right, we're going to take a pause to the cause in a moment or two, but we are, at this point, finishing the regular-ass body of this kit. So I will take a photo of this regular-ass body, this regular. Oh. Well, I might want to glue tack or glue this on. We'll see if this falls. It keeps falling off, then I'll think about it. But, here's the regular ass version of this kit. This is like kind of normal version of our friend here. Let's see if it can even stand up without its behind legs. Yeah, I can. I've been thinking of picking up that Guardians of the Galaxy game after hearing Nick Slater talk about it. Yeah, what a surprise. Like, I still don't want to get it because I'm not interested in that style of gameplay, really. I mean, I don't mind it, but I'm not like, I just get such an abrasive vibe off of Guardians, like the movies. Like, I am the person that kind of was okay with the first one. I didn't love the first one, and I stopped watching. I didn't finish the second one. So I was just like, I don't know. And then I'm hearing like really good things about it. And I was like, huh. Okay. So I don't know. I still don't think I'm gonna get it, but maybe I'll get it someday when it's like really discounted. But I don't think I would be picking it up, anytime soon. Anyway, let's get this kit photographed here. This is the like, oh, I got two legs, like a regular model kit vibe, which is, whatever. Boring. But now we gotta work on the back half of it. But we're not doing that right now because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna retweet my tweet. Let's see if we can maybe get a few more friends to join us tonight. I don't know. We'll see. If we can get a few more to join us, because that would be nice. And then we're gonna take a pause for the cause. And if you're unaware of what that is, pause for the cause is an opportunity for us to talk about ways you can support the channel. I'm going to try to keep this as brief as possible because I know many of you have heard this time and time again, and it's a broken record. but there's always new people watching the streams, and those people, I need to advertise to those people and tell them ways they can support the channel if they are so interested in doing so. Because I want to keep doing this, but I do need assistance. First and foremost, if you are currently a subscriber to the old Build With Baer, you can throw the Bear Cave Lego, the site emote in the chat. Site this for the tier 2. Let the people know you're a subscriber, you got these cool emotes, and you want to show them off. You don't see ads, and you get some cool emotes, and you're also, more importantly, supporting me financially through Cash Money, your Prime Gaming token. If you have Amazon Prime linked to your Twitch, you get to do that. Aristevant gifted 5 subs tonight. You could also gift a sub to somebody in the community. You could do it anonymously, so we don't even know who the fuck you are. Or you could let us all know so that we can say thank you, and I can play a sound effect that will thank you. Also, if you've been gifted a sub, you can convert that gift sub to a regular subscription, and they won't charge you till your gift sub month is over. And you can also donate a few bits to the old Build With Baer. Bits and coins, always appreciated. Again, thank you to everybody that has subscribed. Thank you to the people that continue to subscribe. Thank you for the people that subscribe and don't come and watch the shows live. They watch the VODs or they watch it later on YouTube. Thank you very much to everybody that has taken any time in their day to support me here. Also, another way to support me is through my Patreon at patreon.com/PatBear. There's a $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier. It is your alternative or your addition to subscribing on Twitch. Yeah, just, I don't have anything like remarkable to say about that. Get in there, jump in there, pick something up off my, or not something up, get in the Patreon. It's fine. You get different rewards for different tiers. I have a YouTube, youtube.com/PatBear. You can, of course, subscribe to that for free because it doesn't cost anything to subscribe. But there is a pay method. There is memberships. You can join. And if you join over there at youtube.com/PatBear, it costs you $2 a month. And you get my Wednesday videos on Tuesday. You get it a day early. And I've got a brand fucking new Wednesday series for you to check out. Called Do You Remembaer? I'll talk more about that later because the first Do You Remembaer is up on my YouTube channel. And also, I do accept direct donations, one-time donations. If you are like, yeah, I don't want to support you every month, but yeah, you can get some money to buy more model kits because everything I make through direct donations of PayPal or Coffee, YouTube ad revenue through AdSense, and also for people subscribing, Patreon and Twitch, all of that goes into a fund, and I use that to buy model kits and equipment. This kit I pre-ordered last year, thanks to your generous help monthly and folks like you. I was able to take that money, put it aside, buy a cool model kit. And I have money from that for other pre-orders, which I constantly do. And I appreciate it very much. Let's see. Oh, also, hey, I got an Amazon wish list. If you would, instead of me building kits that I want to build, like, hey, did you see that behind here? I got a Xeon. There's a Xeon back there. I bought a Xeon with my Amazon gift card money. I got a fucking Xeon right over there. I'm sure that might win the poll for the next kit I work on. But that next poll for my $10 patrons, that won't happen for a while if you buy something off my Amazon wish list. Anything you buy on there, I shoot a separate video about it, and then I will build the kit next on stream. It always jumps the queue. It's the least I can do for someone that's bought a kit for me. I got Lego sets. I got the Alien Queen from Aliens. That is a Mega Constructs kit. I have decently priced some of the Gundam Gundam Breaker battle log kits, the same line that this is from. I have all of the ones right now that I don't own yet up on that list, which are, I believe, 3 or 4. I got up there those kits. I've got other model kits up there as well that I'd be happy to build on stream. Lego sets, model kits, high grades, master grades, inexpensive kits, very expensive kits. Equipment at the bottom, because sometimes people just want to buy gear because they don't know what I would like. If you buy anything like that, like I said, it jumps the queue. I will build it before I build anything else. So consider buying something off my wish list. Alternatively to that, you could buy a gift card for USA Gundam store and then send me the code. You get a code in your email, and then you can pass that code along to this guy, and then I'll buy something from USA Gundam store. You can even make suggestions like, hey, you haven't built this kit from this series yet. Why don't you build that? And I'll be like, I actually did build that 3.5 years ago. Or I'll be like, oh no, I never bought that. Sure. Those are things. Let's see. What else? Oh, you can join my Discord. That's free if you want to join my Discord. You can jump in there. Jump in my Discord. And let's see. A couple of video links for you to check out. The latest Pat Bear's Anime Club was recorded in front of an audience on Twitch. It is my fall review and my winter preview. So the second tail of the video is the stuff that's coming out right now. You can see my thoughts on that as I preview them. Also, if you missed stuff from last season and you want some recommendations, you go check that out. And then Do You Remembaer is a brand new series that you should check out the first episode of. You don't have to watch every episode, but just, check it out, please, because it's new. Do You Remembaer is an ongoing video series where every week I will check out an article, generally Wikipedia, but other websites as well. Read that article as best I can, as fast as I can, and then close the article, hit record in OBS, and record my thoughts on what I just read. And try to remember as much as I can, and also try to be funny with it, be fun, make it edutainment. So that's Do You Remembaer. This first one is Glen Rock Boulder, because I have to be specific, because Glen Rock is also the name of the town that built out around this big boulder, the Glen Rock Boulder in New Jersey. I talk about that big boulder, and fun fact, it's a World War I memorial for some reason. There is a reason. And I couldn't remember what it was, and then I did remember, which is great. But you can check it out. You can read the article, because I link it in the show description of that video, and then you can be like, Pat, you got this wrong. Or you can marvel at how I remembered fucking facts and regurgitated them after reading it briefly. I'm a pretty good reader. That's my new series. I don't know. I'm so fucking excited about it. I hope you check it out, because I do think that it's pretty okay. Surprisingly decent. Anyway, we're going to talk about some anime right now, and I'm also going to drink some water. So we'll get that going, and we'll get back to this here. Water. No dramatic transition tonight, but we'll get back into this. Let me just check something real quick. Okay. All right, we finished this part of this kit. Now we're going to be building basically the other extension, this part that's going to go here, the other legs, and the other waist, the horse part of this Centaur. We're gonna get into the horsey part. And while we do that, I'm going to talk to you about In the Land of Leadale. I think it's Leadale. Leadale. It's Leadale, like Lee, Leadale, not Leadale. Leadale. In the Land of Leadale. I had to listen to it to hear the pronunciation of the main character. So you're asking yourself, oh, sorry, I got itchy nose here. My allergies are whooping butt. All right, so basically right now, the part of the waist of this kit is just a chest part again. It's just the chest of this kit. We're basically building the chest again and then turning it on its side. It's very weird how this kit is working. I mean, they're doing the best they can with a strange model kit. They got to make a Centaur out of just a normal ass model kit. So they're doing their best, and we appreciate them for doing their best. But anyway, this anime. Okay, so in the regular world, there's a girl, and we don't know much about her. We do know that she was in the hospital for a very long time, and that she played a VR MMO because she was paralyzed and couldn't move at all. So she escaped reality. The one thing she could do was play this VR MMO, and so she played that quite a bit. And the power went out in the hospital and her life support failed, and now she is inside the VR MMO game that she played in the future. It's been 200 years of game time has passed, but it's real now. How is that possible? I don't know, but it is. Is that a fucking really sad thing? And does she take a really long time to process that? Absolutely. She takes like a long time to process the fact that she is dead, that her body died and her memories have been transported into a video game and now it's real. Uh, is it possible that she is imagining all of this? Certainly. But we don't know. It is still light, even if it does have very dark story at the beginning, but it is still a light series. Anyway, she's like trying to figure out what's going on. The world inside the game has changed a lot because there aren't a bunch of player characters like they were. She is still like infamous within the world, partially because we learn later that she has children. There was an adopt an NPC program, like adopt in quotation marks, where you can design NPCs, and she designed like 2 elves that were her children, and then also an adopted dwarf, and they're all apparently still alive. So she's like, "Oh, that's kind of cool." Anyway, a lot of the beginning of it is her like expressing joy at being able to walk around because she was bedridden for so long, being very excited that she's eating food, and then also being pretty psyched she can use fucking magic because she is a high elf. She's in the body of a high elf named Kana, Cayna. Kana. We don't know if that was her name in the real world, but that is her character's name, and that's what she introduces herself as. Um, Also, there's a weird thing where she has an AI program and it's not part of the video game. She had like a separate AI program that like managed the game for her because she couldn't do that herself. And the AI program is named Key and Kee, and Key is just like, yeah, this is weird. We lost contact with the servers. It's like, yeah, yeah, sure you did. Um, anyway, that's a weird thing, but that could have just been part of it, but it's not. It's like a separate thing. It's weird. Anyway, um, she goes and finds the tower that she used to be her home base, the Silver Tower, that no one has been ever able to climb in the 200 years because it's too dangerous. But of course, she can just teleport there because she made the tower and she used to live there. And then we get introduced to the Guardian of the Tower. And that is just a big, like, it's a little bit of like the narrator for the Legend of Hidden Temple is just like a stone statue of like a sun god like face. Um, and it has like a high pitched voice, but also is like a rude dude. Has like a big attitude problem. She's just like, did I create you to talk like that? What's going on here? Because he's been lonely because nobody has talked to him for many years. He was like, yeah, 60 years ago, one of your sons came by looking for you. And so he's just like, he gets some mana. He tells them there are other towers out there that he can't communicate with anymore, so they need mana. So maybe she's gonna do that. She probably also is gonna. She's thinking about maybe trying to track down her kids and seeing them. Um, we get to see her be strong at one point because she returns to the village that she was hanging out in, um, and while she's there, she has a run in. There's a hunter who gets caught by a horned bear, and so he's freaked out because that is a strong beast. But it's not a big deal for our hero because she just like fucking jump kicks. She just like jump kicks out of nowhere like a flying kick and just kills that bear pretty instantly with her big kick, which was very fucking fun to see. Um, she's a wizard and has like a mage, I should say, I guess, and has all these magical abilities. but her instinct when she sees a bear is to kick the shit out of it. And I think that rules. Anyway, they have a big feast. Turns out she can get drunk. She's never drank before, right? Because she was like a teen at the time that had been hospitalized, so she never drank. So she gets drunk. There was also a moment where like some people from the town who have mostly been cool try to steal from her, and her the AI sets up like a magic spell that summons a lion made electricity, which was a very random. I did want to say this, right? I was basically mostly just telling you the story of like what's going on with this thing, and so I didn't bring this up, but I guess it's important to mention it. Um, Hopefully, we won't see a lot of the Guardian because the Guardian was done in CGI that didn't match the rest of the animation, the digital animation, and it looked fucking bad. That Guardian did not look cool, and so I do hope that we won't see many of those for a while. It very much did not fit with the rest of the aesthetic, which looks cool. I think the opening closing song are nothing to write home about. They're very generic. I don't think they're particularly good, but the actual like content of the episode, this is a show I'm going to be watching weekly. I've read the manga. The I've not read the light novel, but I have read the manga, and the manga is like there hasn't been too much of it, so I do think it's going to be one of those shows where all of a sudden I'm watching, and we get to the point where I haven't read this part yet because it's ahead of it. Um, but I think that's fine because I like what I am seeing. I am interested in more. Uh, this is like a strong story that I have enjoyed so far. So I'm excited about this. I will be keep checking out the Land of Leadale because I am interested in more of it. A16. 111. Great. Yeah. It's good. And then I'm going to talk about some manga here. One manga and one manhwa. We just go comics, international comics. We'll talk about two of those right now. Get that ready. Here it is. We've got the max level hero has returned, and my stepmother and stepsisters do not pick on me. Let's jump around here. Let's start with the second one because it's lighter and sillier, and my stepmother and stepsisters do not pick on me is cute. There's only been a couple chapters of it, but the stories are very quick. The premise is what is stated. It's stated on the tin. Premise is this girl's father got remarried, and now she has two older stepsisters, and who are, I believe, are twins, or they're very close in age. They look pretty much identical, and the mother, a new stepmom, and of course, she's very stern looking, and she's like older. She must have had the twins when she was like getting on in years, and she seems very stern, and they are both of them like are blonde, and they look like pretty hoity-toity. They got a lot of that like ho 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 like kind of like whatever vibe going. But even if they are like that, they are still very nice. Now it might be that they're nice in their own way, and she's got to get used to that. But like refers to the two older sisters as like young ladies, and they're like, "Is that what you should be calling us?" And our main character's like, "Oh, I no, I'm sorry, I didn't know what to say." And they're like, "No, you should obviously be calling us One-chan because we're your big like. You should be calling us Big Sis." And the other one's like, "I wanted to tell her to do that." And they're like, "Yeah, because obviously you're now our little sister, and we're gonna look out for you. Of course. Why wouldn't we?" So they've got that like it's not tsundere. It's a little tsundere, but it's mostly just like this is how they communicate. But they're nice girls, and I love that. I think that's so fun. Um, let's see. What else? What else is in this particular story that I think is cool? There's another scene where she's like, "Thank you, mother," and then her new stepmom is like, "Your old mother was your mother. You can call me mom if you want, or mommy, whatever you want to do. But like, yeah, don't forget her. I'm not here to replace her." And it's just like sweet. They're like, "We've got this reading material for you," and she's like, "I haven't read a lot." And they're like, "What? You haven't? You're not? You didn't have time to learn to read? Well, we'll teach you because you should know." Um, like very they're stern or like hoity-toity, but not really. That's just like who they are. And it turns out they're just like genuinely nice and are she is very surprised by that. And I think eventually like it'll look, will this story get old eventually? Because eventually she'll like hit the point where, well, okay, like at this point you've got to understand that these are nice people. Like sure, I'm sure it will like overstay its welcome, but I think the premise is really funny and it's a very cute manga. So like I don't know, I'm not against it. All right, we got this part of our waist here done, which is just the chest of this kit basically with weird extra parts on here. Instead of arms, it's got these parts here. But we got this part done. Um, and now we're going to work on, we're going to build two more sets of feet. And we'll finally use these parts here, which I had incorrectly taken out last time. And now I will correctly take out. So we'll be designing some new the back legs of this kit. We're working on the back feet of this, I guess. So we need A110 and A15. 110 and A15, great. Pull those out. So the other thing, this is a manhwa that I have been reading, Korean comic, named "The Max Level Hero Has Returned." 4 feet. This is some special Gundam. Indeed, John. It's a Centaur Gundam. There are very few centaurs in the world of Gundam. This is one of them. This is the main villain Gundam, so it is the unique weirdness. All right, so max level hero, pretty cool. Basically, we don't learn quite what happened to him at first, but then we do learn. Our main character here, he got poisoned. He was hunting with his half brother. Basically, he's the prince. He's the weak prince of a kingdom. His father was he's the king, but his mother he basically has had several wives, and uh, he's always been like really sad about it and very precious about like he lost his mother and it really affected him. He was he was shot in the back with a poisoned arrow by his brother, his half brother, who is like the crown prince, and basically left in a coma. He didn't die, but he has been in a coma. Well, instead of him like just being in a vegetative state in this coma, his spirit traveled, and his spirit ended up in the Hall of Heroes. It's not called, they don't call it Valhalla there, but it's basically the version of Valhalla, and it's filled with these heroes of legend, these like incredible people, and it's not just like all warriors. There's all kinds of different sorts of people in there. There are all different kinds of scientists, um, holy heroes, necromancers, swordsmen of different varieties. And most of them are like, hey, why is this fucking kid here? What the fuck? What's happening here? But some of them are like, hey, what would be fun? You should become my disciple. I'm going to make you really strong because eventually you can get out of here. And why don't I make you really tough? So when you get out of there, you'll be able to inherit these powers. So that's what happens. So he learns sword fighting techniques, and he learns survival techniques, and he learns hunting techniques, and martial arts, magic use. He can use all kinds of different styles of energy, like magic energies, and which are different from holy energies, which are different from um, all kinds of different stuff. He learns blacksmithing and crafting weapons. He learns all this stuff. He's got 1,000 years to learn it. And then he wakes up. And of course, things aren't rosy. He's got to like train his body to handle all of the magics that he can use inside of him. He's got to heal his body, which he slowly does. He's got there was only one maid taking care of him, and she's basically had no salary because they kept embezzling money from him because the queen is not, hates him, and so has been looking the other way. And we find out hates him and also hates this maid has been on his side. There is like the head butler of all of the different palaces has been sending food and is like giving reports to the king and like looking out for him, seeing what's up. But he also has his younger brother and sister who are half siblings, and who he looks out for. He's got another younger sister that likes him, but she's in another kingdom. She was basically like sent away. So the twins love him. They love their big brother. They're so psyched he's alive again. And it's very funny because they're like, hey, how come you're doing all right considering everything that happened, and why are you suddenly very good at using the sword, and you have all these magic abilities? I pulled these wrong pieces out here. F-23. Why are you suddenly like very fucking good at this? And he just goes, look, someday I'll actually explain it, but I'll just tell you right now, it's because I'm a genius. Later they figure out that he has that they believe he has a stigmata, because he makes like a deal with like a high-ranking demon. He's got a high-ranking demon friend that hangs out with him. It's a whole thing. A lot of shit goes on there. Anyway, the queen tries to kill him and his brother and sister, and they foil that because he's very good at shit. He meets some people that are interested in him. He meets the holy sword. He borrows the holy sword that belongs to like his master made it. He finds some cool swords of his own that were like incomplete swords made by the person that trained him in that, and he completes those swords, and they're the spirits of young ladies, like a twin swords, and so they're like, now he's got like kind of has kids. Lots of stuff. There's a lot of it. It's a weekly manhwa. They're on break right now. There's a lot to read. If this sounds interesting to you, it's called The Max Level Hero Has Returned. It is an overpowered character showing people up and being overpowered and not giving a fuck about what happens. And there are twists and there are moments where it looks like, oh, this might go bad, but it's fine. And he's a brilliant doctor as well and all this stuff. He's like an incredibly overpowered character because they don't focus too long on his 1,000 years of training. Like sometimes when he's like using a new skill that we haven't seen before, there'll be moments where he like flashes back and like you get to meet the character and kind of learn about it. But for the most part, he's just like fucking going for it. And it's great. I highly recommend it because it's like, of the manhwa I read, it's one of my favorites. He also is like pretty cocky because he knows he has the skills to back it up. But also, when it comes to his like brother and sister, he is remarkably like nice about them. Like he clearly cares about his younger siblings and also the maid that stood by him that all this time, the only one that like looked out for him. Like he's definitely loyal to her as well. It's nice. But yeah, pretty great. And we've got some time left on stream, so what are y'all getting into? What are you watching? What are you reading? What are you checking out? We got some time left in the stream. There's a good time to find out what everybody is into. I do like hearing from y'all about that stuff. So feel free to let me know if there is a TV program or something on YouTube you're checking out. I've been watching, folks. I did it again. I got into like conversion vehicle van life stuff. I found a van life channel that I like, and uh, it's interesting because it's a person who's just building by themselves, and they don't talk. They only talk to they. I've gotten sick of videos that were shot like last year before people were vaccinated, and I'm like, I know none of these people were fucking vaccinated. Get the fuck out of here. Um, but this is like, no, this is just like a solo van life person that I've been interested in checking out because they also do other things. They like convert vans. They worked on an RV that they converted like a trailer into like their new house. Uh, and when there are shots of this person going to like the store to pick up stuff, they are wearing a mask, and I was just like, fuck yeah, Dulex. I'm happy for you, Dulex, that you wear a mask when you go pick up lumber for this conversion that you're doing of like your truck. You're making your custom truck bed for your so you can go camping in it. I'm glad. You can really tell pre-pandemic versus pandemic YouTube content. You can really tell who doesn't give a fuck about the pandemic. Because there was another one that I was watching, and then it turns out they're homophobic, and so I stopped watching. But before I got to the homophobic, when I was still like, this person kind of sucks, and this couple kind of sucks, um, they there were videos from like 2000, like August 2020. Like, so even if you're like, oh, I filmed so much stuff at the beginning of the year, this is August 2020. You are walking around, talking to people, you are inside places, you are meeting strangers, none of you are masked, none of you are social distancing. Get the fuck out of here. Um, but yeah, the you can definitely get the vibe of people who are like, oh yeah, no, we don't give a shit about that. We're not gonna care about that. John is watching something called My First Girlfriend is a Gal. It's a bit lewd in the first episode, maybe not a general recommend. I mean, I know what a gal is, so I could see why that might be a little lewd. Like it's kind of going for those jokes, probably. But I mean, I hope you're enjoying it. Um, I watched Timur from GameSpot build a Lego for the first time last night, which was fun. He also was watching a video call about Garfield, which was weird. Nice. I didn't know what gal was before watching this. Oh yeah, so the gal is the um, uh, Gal and Dino is a show that you should watch because it's an anime and a live action, and it's fucking weird. Both are very weird, but that is like, yeah, that's like a girl that maybe people think is kind of like rough around the edges and tough, but like wears a lot of makeup, tans a lot, bleaches their hair sometimes, but not always. Um, the Garu is the other way you can look at call that. But that is a particular style of like fashion and for ladies, but they're often like, oh, people are worried about them. But yeah, both main girls in Gal and Dino are both gals. That's why it's gal and not girl and Dino. It's gal and Dino. But yeah, they are often perceived to be hypersexual, even if they aren't hypersexual. Um, but there is the belief that they are, that they might be cheap or loose or sexually active, and maybe they aren't. Uh, maybe they're just trying. They just like the fashion or whatever. But yeah, not watching. But with a new year, the big Star Trek series left Hulu and Amazon Prime to be Paramount Plus exclusive, and you never finished DS9. I'm sorry you never finished DS9, Lashbrook. Um, I hope someday you get to finish DS9. That's right. Yeah. Now there is maybe more of a reason for some people to get Paramount Plus because they want to get those shows, and that is the way to get those shows is to jump in on that network. But I don't know. I don't know if that's enough for everybody. Like it's fine for me. I'm good. I watched a lot of those shows and I've seen them. I don't have Paramount Plus. I also haven't been like driven to get into any of the new Star Trek series. I got screeners of Lower Decks, and I've enjoyed Lower Decks. I basically got like links to watch it, um, um, from a friend because I have friends who've written for Lower Decks. So I've seen all of Lower Decks. I like Lower Decks. That shit's good, but um, but I haven't seen other Star Trek series, and I'm not necessarily like totally gonna go for it. I will probably pop a trial. It's still on Netflix, but like real VHS quality. Oh, that's a bummer. Yeah, you want to get the good stuff. You gotta jump. You gotta pay for it. Yeah, I canceled my Netflix because there isn't anything coming out right now that I'm super into. I will get it again if and when there is something that I'm interested in, but basically like when there's more Stone Ocean, I'll probably get in there. But right now, there's nothing that like really is a driving force for me to jump in. You know, and I'll get it again. I watched a bunch of stuff that I hadn't seen. I got caught up on things. Uh, Comey Can't Communicate is getting a second season. I don't know when that's going to come out, but they did announce there'll be more Comey, and kind of like that series. I didn't love it, but I kind of liked it, so maybe I will check that out. Who knows? Working on our back legs here are pretty much the same. These are very similar to our front legs. They're slightly different because they're going to be in the back. My friends and I watch Netflix virtually together every week, so I can't ditch it anytime soon. John, that is a fucking fantastic reason to not give it up anytime soon because you are making it your hang time. That fucking rules. That's great. I'm glad you get to do that. Uh, I hope you continue to do that. Yeah, and you get your friend time. I have a little bit of that. I have like Amazon. I do some Amazon watch along stuff with people where like we're all watching, like somebody will host it and we'll all be in there and typing in chat. I've done that a bit. That could be pretty fun. Uh, there's only so much stuff on there, but there's some weird ass shit uh, in there. So there are some things you can jump in on. Um, that are pretty great on Amazon to watch with friends for Amazon parties. We've done it almost weekly for a decade. Oh, well, okay. This is like I thought this was like pandemic. Let's keep together and like keep the friendships alive and like have something to look forward to. But this is no. This was pre-pandemic. This is just the fucking things y'all do. Well, great. That sounds rad. That's even radder. I definitely hope you can keep up with that shit. Is that's very cool. But yeah, I have some like Amazon watch along stuff. This was more post college. Let's keep friendships alive. Okay, yeah, that's right. Like I said, I have that, and of course I have my regular D&D crew, and then I have my hey, should we do one-offs crew? And we've only done one-off, but I have an email chain with some people, and theoretically we're gonna play more D&D. My D&D crew did play today. That my voice is feeling a little strained from that. It was very fun. Uh, we are theoretically getting into like wrapping up this arc, this story. Like I don't want to say we're like gonna meet a boss or I don't know exactly what's gonna happen, but we're like getting to the point where shit is getting real, and it's been fun. The shit is getting real. We'll get the piece that we pulled out here. Um, this goes in like, it's going to go up into this. How does that work? Just points up. This just goes up. Oh, it just goes up like that. Okay. That's weird. I guess this will interconnect later, but right now it just feels like it's just jutting out. And then we have two stickers to apply. We have 6 and 5, and then we'll panel line this. We'll get 6 and 5 on here. Not too many stickers on this kit, considering. Just getting people scheduled can be the first session of the campaign. Yes, that's why one-offs are fun, right? Because like you already did all the legwork to get everybody to get together, and then it's just like, okay, everyone's here, so wait, are we supposed to be doing this same time? No. That's 5 and 6. Yeah. These must be double stickers. Sorry. Just trying to figure out. Okay. Oh, I get this now. Okay. I couldn't tell where this number was pointing to, and now I have figured it out. We'll put this sticker on here. Yeah, so that's why I like going on. So like I said, we only did it once with this crew, but we're looking at it. And also we can rotate who is DMing. We are going to do D&D for this one-off crew, and the idea is that like you can bring back a character you already played, because we're basically doing a guild system where people get like assigned group quests, so that way you can play the character you already played, or you can do a new one if you didn't like playing that character. And then and then it's just like, hey, we're assembling a crew to conquer this dungeon or to find this missing person or whatever. And within that framework, because it's guild quests, whoever is running the campaign or this one-off campaign can just like write whatever story they want to write, within the confines of like, okay, we're doing this thing, and like, hey, we need help like clearing this area, and then they'll just be like shit that'll happen, and we'll run it for a couple sessions. Sessions or modules that support or have pre-builds are also nice from time perspective. Yeah, so some of this will be, like I said, some of this will be maybe modules or stuff that people have heard of. Like I said, the only time we only run once for this, but that time we ran this, the person who ran it was basically sort of recreating a scenario that they experienced once, and it always stuck with them. And so they were like, the framework was recreated for us. Obviously, the contents was very different because it's different people. But they're basically like, hey, this is a scenario that I once was in that I think is really fun, so we'll do that, and that was very cool. So I'm good. We're trying to get another session together with people, and I've been like, look, I want to do this every time, but if the schedule works out, and the only time people can do it is, Wednesday from 8 to 11, and I got to stream, 9 to 11, then it'll be like, fine, do it without me. I don't want that because I want to play D&D with friends and, game. But I was like, if we got to, we got to. This one, my semi every other week game that I've been playing now for over a year. That one we've had the conversation about, like, that one we can't, because one of the people who plays it can't stream anything, can't do anything because of their job. They're just like, they have to be basically a ghost on the internet. So that one is great because we knew we're not going to convert this to anything. This new one that we've only done one off, there have been a few people being like, hey, if we like this like format, we should think about like recording it. And then like if we, get somebody in here to like be the director to record and switch focuses, and then like if we really like it, we can like put it online and see what the response is, and maybe like do one live and all that. And a few people have been like hinting about that, and I'm like, let's see if we actually like doing this first, because a good way to suck the enjoyment out of a thing is to try to monetize it or put it out there. Now that is a good way to hold people accountable and make it so if people want to like actually do it, but it is also making that a job. So I've been more interested in trying to schedule us actually playing the fucking thing, and less interested in like seeing if it can be like another fucking business that I have to take part in. But I mean, if it's really great fun, and we think that it would be fun for people to watch us do, and then like, I'm not opposed to it, but I'd rather make it a thing that we get to play more than the job. I don't know. But I like the idea of like, yeah, switching people in and out. Look, this format would be easy for guest stars because you could really easily convince people to come in to do it, because it'd be like, hey, we're doing this thing, and like, You know, we can help you create a character, and it won't feel weird that you're jumping in because it changes who's doing it every time and all that, and like have a cast of characters that come through. Like, yeah, it's like that's actually a fun premise, but a lot of work. And I also right now, for me anyway, Dungeons and Dragons and role playing in general is the one of the only things I do that is not monetized in any way, shape, or form. Like I occasionally talk to y'all about my games, and that's the closest thing I have to monetizing that in any way, shape, or form, and that is unbelievably rare for me because everything I do is related to something that I do here. So it is so great to have the opportunity to not make that a thing. I got a stack of pen and paper RPG books. I just never convinced my friends to try. Yeah, that's a tough one, right? I mean, I've done a lot of like fifth edition D&D. We did third edition for many years. Uh, Lasers and Feelings, Fiasco. I've done a lot of stuff that like is easy to do in Roll20. Um, I like Lasers and Feelings quite a bit. I enjoy Fiasco with more of the improv friends of mine because they are more comfortable doing that kind of thing because they come from a comedy background. Whereas some of my like friends who like the gaming aspects but don't necessarily know a lot about or consider themselves like performers or actors are kind of scared of like Fiasco. This feels very loose, but that's probably because it is or it will be once I like attach it to this somehow. I think it will be fine. We got some other parts here, so I'm going to take a photo of that. And then we're probably going to call this stream a Dunzo. Let me just get this here. We'll get this like this, and that, and then of course we did have our main body friend here, and then we have some parts to work on this. I do think that we'll be finishing this up on Saturday. So I will probably put a poll up around then. Although I do think from looking at my wish list that someone bought something off of my wish list, and so if that arrives by the time like for Saturday, then that'll be the next thing we build. This might take the whole stream because we have to build a whole other leg, and then there's I think yeah we have to finish building this waist part here, and then put it all together. It's basically like we're building another like kit and then folding it over and connecting the two pieces. And then there is a backpack, but it's small, and the weapon. So this might take all the stream, but that'll be the next thing. We are going to raid. That is what we do at the end of every stream here. Is we go on a raid. So we will go see who's hanging out here and doing cool shit that we want to go hang out with. Not a lot of us by the end of the stream here tonight, but we'll still have a few friends to go, and might as well take it over to somebody awesome out there to go hang out with. So let's see who is doing cool shit that we want to go spend a little time with, hang out with. I gotta mute my audio here. Who's doing some stuff? We haven't rated. Will Smith is playing the video game that he helps work on. What is it called? Anacreus. So he's playing Anacreus, which is the game, like I said, he's working for the company that's making that game. So he's shilling for his own thing. So we're going to go raid Will Smith. Because Will usually starts after I've already got online. We always end with a raid. You're right. We always do. But Will usually starts after I'm done streaming. So I don't even know how long he's playing, but it's a nice opportunity to go raid him. So we're going to go raid Will. Please, please come along on this raid because Will is great and you'll have fun. Thank you all so much for being here. I know this was a kind of a weird night because I was definitely like out of it a little bit. And there weren't a lot of you tonight, which is okay. It happens. But thanks for being here. Thanks for sticking around. And I'll see you on Saturday. Good night. Take it easy. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.